Welcome to Nutty Buddy Sports.
3, 2, 1. Well, welcome back to Nutty Buddy Sports. This is going to be our instant reaction to the 4-team trade that just happened. The trade involved the Pistons, Clippers, Bucks, and Kings. There was some second-round picks that were exchanged. I think mostly the Pistons, but I'll just mention where the players are going. Pistons received Marvin Bagley, Clippers, Semi Ojeleye, Rodney Hood. The Bucks got Ibaka, and the Kings got DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles. And with me to discuss this trade is our resident Bucks fan, but I think most of the guys that come on are Bucks fans, so they're all resident Bucks fans. I have Clint with me. Clint, how's it going?
Pretty good. Exciting day. Lots going on.
Yeah. There's other trades. I don't know if they're worth an instant reaction, but like Thad Young was traded. I know you were hoping he ended up a Buck, but you got Ibaka instead. So let's just break it down by teams. We'll start with the Milwaukee Bucks. How do you feel about this trade for the Milwaukee Bucks?
Good. I thought they had to get rid of Dante just to clear up space. They won without him last year anyhow. But as we talked about last time, you're kind of crowded in the backcourt. No one can really get a flow. Ibaka helps. You know, they need size. They've struggled overall without having Brook Lopez, so having a center. Ibaka fits great. I'm sure he'll start or come off the bench. They might keep Bobby starting, but it gives them a size. He struggled this year from three, but I think it's because he hasn't played a ton. He had some injuries early in the year. So he gives them some flexibility, some size, and that's what they need right now.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, I really like this trade because it's all like an upside move, right? Serge, if he stays healthy and he can get back to like 80% of what Serge is or was, he's going to be, you know, he can shoot the ball. He can spread the floor. He's also a solid defender. I know the Clippers really didn't need him anymore. He wasn't getting the minutes there to get back in basketball shape. So being on the Bucks, hopefully he can do that. And he's only on, I think, the last year, or he's only got 1 year left. So even if he doesn't pan out, he's not a contract that you have to continue to pay moving forward.
Yeah, he's done after this year.
Yeah,
his salary. So
yeah. So for the Kings, they received DiVincenzo, Jackson, and Lyles. Any thoughts on that?
They seem to be fascinated with guards. they trade some guard, get a guard, but I know they wanted him last year in the Bogdanovich deal that fell apart. So again, they're going young. They're going to have to pay him. I know he wants probably about $15 million a year they couldn't get an extension done with the Bucks. So, but he fits in. They need, some defense. Hopefully his shot can come around for them. Getting Dante while dumping Marvin Bagley, that's probably a plus move, regardless of what you think of the future of Dante. Marvin Bagley didn't want to be there, and he was just not happy.
Right. Yeah, 100% agree. And also because you have Sabonis now, Bagley is definitely expendable because they're the same style player, and you don't really want them on the court at the same time, right? Like they're both kind of like offensive forwards who are not great defenders. So it's not like you want to play them both at the same time. So you replace him with DiVincenzo. Lyles is a good like eighth man. He was with the Pistons, but he was playing kind of big minutes for them, a little, almost too much minutes, but he spreads the court. He tries on defense, but he's like an undersized forward, and he's not like very athletic. I wouldn't describe him as athletic. Josh Jackson, I actually wish the Pistons would have kept him because he had a little bit of I don't want to say resurgence because I believe he was a top 3 pick for the Suns, but he was kind of getting his career back on track the last 2 years with the Pistons, and he's from Michigan. So I was hoping they didn't trade him, but it's okay. He was an expendable contract. He only was for 1 year, but I do like the flyer, I guess, for the Kings. It's not going to hurt to have a forward like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what they should be doing. There are other trades barring that, but yeah, Trey Lyles, he moves around. He has that potential everyone likes, but just hasn't lived up to it.
Correct. For the Clippers, they get Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. They they're just veterans at this point. And anything on what the Clippers gained? I think they got some second round picks as well, but
yeah, I think the Clippers just did this to clear salary. I think it saved them almost $30 million in their luxury tax. So I think the Norman Powell trade that they made took on money with Powell and Covington for this year. Now they get rid of that. They obviously didn't have Ibaka in their plans for next year. So Ojale and Hood, I don't even think they'll keep them next year either. I think this was totally just move some salary and prepare for next year with the guys they got. They upgraded, and now just get rid of a guy that you're not going to keep and free some money.
Yeah, agree 100%. Yeah. And then the Pistons got Marvin Bagley. Your thoughts?
Well, I was going to ask you, since you're the resident Pistons fan, what are your thoughts on the great Marvin Bagley?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like I have two thoughts. There is a lot of potential there. He shot 34% from three last year, and it was only his third year. He averaged 15 points a game, but the Kings just, like, for some reason, it's hard, because what player goes to the Kings? You know what I'm saying? Like, the Kings are just not a good organization, so it's really hard to judge a player that comes from there, right? Would you agree with that?
I would. I think anytime you can get, I'll call him like a second team or second contract, like Josh Jackson was one too, not the upside of Bagley. Bagley has shown more, but the Kings are a train wreck. If you can get a guy for basically nothing, a couple second round picks they sent out, I would take the flyer. He's shown flashes. Maybe he's a guy like, not in the same ilk, but like Zion. He's not happy where he is, didn't want to put in the extra work. Now he's got a fresh start. Now he's got a role that they can work him into. So maybe he can pan out.
Yeah. I mean, I got his stats here. He shot last year. He started in 42 games, and he shot 50% from the field, 34 from three. So I feel like there's talent there. There's potential there. And I love that they got someone for Cade Cunningham to, like, pick and pop with, and can spread the floor better, because that Pistons team is so congested, and there's that possibility. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this trade, in the sense that they didn't have to give up a lot, and it's worth the risk, I guess, or the upside that Bagley could be alongside of Cade.
Yeah. And I think he's last year, 26, 27 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get a solid guy, even if he can't be a starter, but if you can get that production, you can get him up to that 25, 26, 27 minutes, make him happy. If you can get a 14 and 6 or 7 rebound guy that can space the floor when you're the Pistons and play hard, that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100% with that. And that's the thing, is with Bagley, is just like, you got to hope for the upside, and just realize that Sacramento is a place where, like, people kind of go and fall apart sometimes, because, like, Halliburton wanted out of there too, right? So it's just like, I looked at Bagley, like, stats for even this year, and he had, like, DMPs for, like, the last 10 games. They just don't play him.
Yeah, I know he didn't like the new coaching, ownership, front office. They all didn't get along. And I think Bagley was one where his dad was even on Twitter last year, just ripping the Kings, wanting to get out of there, and they finally got out. So hopefully he turns that motivation into playing basketball now. Yeah,
exactly. And maybe he will, because of the young roster the Pistons have. You know, you'll play with some young upstart guys as well. So yeah, so that's it. Anything? Okay, so let's just rank. I guess in the long run, it's not like a very significant trade, but who from best to worst, or whatever you want to do, rank it for the teams involved, if you had to.
Yeah, if you're looking at it like from potential, the Pistons probably win. You just get a guy that he's a blank sheet. Maybe they can get something out of him. The Clippers just cut money, so they probably came in, last in this trade, but I don't think they lost. They're just, they had different motives in it. The Kings probably got a guy they wanted, so they got to pay him. So I think it's between the Pistons and the Bucks, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for potential, the Pistons, the Bucks are obviously trying to just win a title. So if it works out, like a PJ Tucker trade last year, or he can come in and play even if they don't win it. If they go deep in the playoffs and he plays decent, the Bucks will win the trade, obviously. But I think it's one of those rare trades where everyone involved got something that wasn't crazy. You know, no one got ripped off in this deal. The Bucks get Ibaka, a couple second-round picks, and some cash. Most importantly for the Bucks owners, they got some cash. So, but I think it's one of those rare trades that I don't think you see a lot, where everyone got something they wanted out of it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would say, like, for the Bucks, having that insurance for Lopez is huge. So I would actually put them number one. But it's like you said, it's depends on whether you're looking at the potential or the instant effect that player is going to have on that team, or what that player does for you. So, but like you said, I think they all kind of won. I don't think anyone lost this trade. It seems like an evenly well-balanced trade for every team. Okay, Clint, anything else?
I think the trade deadline's 2:00, so there's 2 hours. The Bucks have a couple extra second-round picks now, so and we'll see if Harden gets dealt. It was crazy this morning. So
yeah, the recent update I got is that the Sixers canceled practice today because of the trade deadline. So they're all focused in on that trade deadline.
Oh, hopefully it's exciting, but
yeah, a lot of times
I don't know that.
I have a feeling
our phones are just going to go crazy like 1:00 with a bunch of Woj bombs, like they were earlier with that Pistons trade, because it kept coming out, the Pistons and Bucks, it kept coming out in sections, and my phone is going off, and I'm like, did Harden get traded? And I'm trying to scroll through and just see that the different aspects of this trade were coming out. So
yeah, because nobody knew it was more than two teams involved until it kept coming out that 4 teams were. So excellent. Well, thanks so much, Clint, for joining me for this instant reaction. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to hear me and Clint talk about some of the other trades that happened earlier this week, or fake trades that we had for players like Jeremy Grant and others, go listen to the podcast. The link will be in the description below. We will talk to you guys soon.